Hey guys, since my last video we have had a ton of rain here in southeast Queensland. Like the first week of February it rained almost every day and really heavy constant rain. Some areas have had flooding. Thankfully we're not in a flood affected area at the moment. And I'm also really grateful that the bus where it's parked is on high ground and it's sort of road-based material underneath, so it's very secure. So I know a few people in the Facebook groups have had problems with their buses getting bogged just with the amount of rain that we've had and the soft soil. Their buses have been getting stuck in the ground. So thankfully I don't have that problem. But the problem I did have was because I haven't finished sealing up all the gaps between the panels on the outside walls, I had water just pouring into the bus. It was just, I'd be racing around with towels and mops trying to, catch what I could. And it was just a nightmare. So I ended up in desperation one evening racing into town in the pouring rain and buying some really big tarps. And I managed to get them up over the roof and completely cover the bus roof and sort of the top half of the walls with tarps, and that basically killed all the leaks. So that was a massive job to do that, but I'm so glad I did, because once the tarps were up I had no water coming into the bus at all, and that was such a great feeling. And so I'm really looking forward to the day when I can have no leaks in the bus without needing tarps on the roof. But anyway, so before I can go ahead and properly seal up all the gaps on the outside, I need to first just secure the panels themselves a little bit better, because although they are stuck around the edges to the steel frame, there's a lot of gaps in between where they're not stuck to anything, and in fact all of the joins are not aligned nicely over an upright, so that they can move a little bit, and I don't want to go to all the trouble to seal up the gaps on the outside and then when the bus moves have them move and the sealant break. So I wanted to make sure that the panels were a lot better secured first. So that's what I've been busy doing this past week, and I'm really pleased with the result. I've basically done now all of the initial internal framing within the main wall cavities. So this is what it looks like. There's a few big windows going at the front here, which is why you don't see many studs in this section, but I'll just come back a little bit further down towards the back of the bus. So now you can see the studs that I've put in. All the timber is bolted and screwed to the steel frame of the bus, as well as being glued with strong construction adhesive to the aluminium composite panels. Now, some of you are probably thinking this is a ridiculous amount of timber and it's overkill. A lot of these studs are only like 350, 400 mil apart, which is obviously closer than what they'd be in a standard house. But I just wanted to make sure, like especially at the back here in the studio, I'm going to be attaching some pretty heavy duty workbenches that have to support heavy tools and things. So I wanted to make sure I had a lot of underlying structure to attach all those things to. And also you can see this panel here, for example, was one where there was a join right in the middle of the base, so nowhere near a steel upright. This one here is actually 3 pieces of timber that I've used, all 35 by 70 mil timber. And so I've put this one here directly over the join. So the join is in the middle of that timber there. And then I've put a stud either side of it. So that panel is now, the ends of those panels are well and truly supported from behind. Some of these studs I've put in because they're, where I want to attach things to. On this wall here, for instance, I want to attach some drying racks and things that'll hang off the wall. So I needed a few extra studs in place to be able to properly secure that. And again, this is another example of where there was a join in the panel. So I don't know if you can see here, this is another piece of aluminium composite panel strip that the repairer had stuck on, and the join between these two panels is actually running behind that. But there was still quite a lot of movement in that, because obviously it was only glued to the bus at the top and the bottom, and there was a lot of flex in that. So I wanted to put these studs like very close to the joins just to secure the panels. And the panels are well and truly secure now. Apart from the areas where the windows are going, that's a whole other issue. So that's one example of where I intend to install a window. So I've left most of that section free. There will be another 1 or 2 studs going in there, and the position of the window that I've got marked there may change slightly. So I'm leaving the sections where the windows are going until I'm ready to actually install the windows, because they'll be a little bit fiddly, and I need to make sure I get the measurements for those exactly right. So now that all that's done, I can finally get around to properly sealing up all the outside gaps and hopefully getting this bus watertight once and for all.